And welcome back to Boom and Bust. I'm your host, Tony Clement, having a conversation with Samantha Dagres. She is the communications manager for the Montreal Economic Institute. Samantha, you mentioned in the first segment the Eastern pipeline. So, can we get that built now, and why is that important for the country?
Whether or not we can get it built really depends on government action in making it so that we have a regulatory environment, as I was saying, that is actually going to attract investment instead of make it flee. At the Montreal Economic Institute, we looked at, what would have happened to our, energy situation had two major projects, Energy East and GNL Quebec, come online, and they were slated to come online. I mean, Energy East would have come online 2021 and GNL Quebec would have come online 2026. And what we see is a huge possibility for diversification. And so, you know, we see potential, but again, if the process is mired in political meddling, um, it is hard to see a situation in which the business environment really changes.
Yeah, and let's just unpack for our audience a little bit more why the regulatory environment and the approvals environment is so bad. Can you give kind of an example or flesh that out for our audience?
For sure. So TC Energy is as I had mentioned before, is a perfect example of this. They spent $1 billion on the assessment process to get
Mhm.
Energy East, which is a pipeline that would have brought oil from Alberta to St. John's, New Brunswick, and ship it and refine it for European markets. And so this was again a very long process, years in the making, and eventually the Quebec government 86 did. They said, "Yeah, we're not interested in it." And, if you're another company and you're looking at the situation, do you really want to replicate it? It's very risky, it's very
Right.
costly, and, not for any upside, truly.
So, Samantha, I think the same impediments seem to have existed with the development of liquefied natural gas terminals. Can you explain what's been happening with that and what the problem has been?
Yeah, so we saw LNG, Quebec, which, was shut down in 2021. It would have brought, gas it would have built it would have been, sorry, a gas pipeline from Northern Ontario to Saguenay. It would have been an extension of an existing pipeline, and it would have added a lot of capacity. It would have, like, really helped the local economy in Saguenay, whose, GDP, per capita is actually, like, lower than the
Mhm.
the rest of Canada, so it would have been very, very good for local economy, for the Quebec economy, and of course for Canada. And unfortunately, it was canceled, but it would have also enhanced capacity. It would have diverted, about 20% of the liquefied natural gas that we now send to the United States, because, as I'm sure you know, that the United States is our number one trading partner when it comes to oil and gas. We send 100% of our gas exports down south and 97% of our oil exports. So LNG Quebec could have really helped us in that way as well.
Yeah, and the reason for the cancellation was because of the regulatory burden, or was there just political opposition to carbon based energy? What was it?
Absolutely. It was a lack of political will. There was a small vocal minority in Quebec, as across the country, of environmentalists who really, gave politicians a scare. And so they decided to cancel the project.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Well, we're hoping for better times in the near future. Obviously, I want to talk more broadly now about energy deregulation. What else should we be doing when it comes to energy deregulation?
We should remember that, provinces aren't, the children of the federal government, and ensure that we're not duplicating processes. The Impact Assessment Act is a wonderful example because it does just that. It duplicates what already is done at the provincial level. And so allowing provinces, I mean, we do allow them, but really giving them the discretion to approve and not approve certain projects is a start. And, we don't even have to do much. We just have to
Mm.
scale back whatever is duplicative, and allow provinces their right jurisdiction.
Yeah, and so that would automatically streamline the process, right?
Oh, it would simplify the process, but there's also things like, the emissions cap, which,
Mhm.
it will, you know, intensify this fleeing of investment because it will, make Canada not an attractive place to have energy projects go forward.
I want to talk about the emissions cap. That's a very good point. We're going to take a brief break, though. We'll be back with you and we'll talk about that topic. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back after these messages.